Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, okay. So today I'm making hard apple cider. We're going to be doing it with frozen concentrate instead of fresh because we've run out of fresh. So come on over here. I've grounded up some cinnamon inside of our coffee grinder. That's going to go onto this pan right here to get toasty. And then right now over here, I'm boiling some logs, some oak logs, in some tea bags. So the boiling will hopefully kill anything that's growing on there. And I want to get that oaky flavor. So we got that going there. And then once the cinnamon, we're going to want to keep moving the cinnamon because we don't want it to burn. And then once that gets toasty, we're going to toss that into the pot and let that stew like a tea bag. Let it steep. Okay, so while that's steeping, I'm going to start cleansing my stuff. So I got my brew bucket here, it's just a 5-gallon bucket. I'm going to be putting some of this sanitizer stuff. It's basically, when you add water, it basically creates like a peroxide. So I'll be shaking a little bit of that into there, adding water, and then cleaning all of my brew stuff. And then once it's done, we spill it out. And then this is what we're going to be actually using as a juice. This is frozen, 100% frozen juice concentrate. It's just literally just apple juice frozen. And it's concentrated, meaning it's like almost syrupy. We'll be adding water to this. So this many jars will do about 3 gallons. So I'll probably brew a little bit more than 3 gallons because I'll be adding sugar. Yep, so that's the next step. I'll be showing you how to do that. Cool, so these are the frozen juice concentrates. And I'm just cracking the cans open. This one's not coming open now. There it goes. You can see it's very syrupy. And just getting them in the bucket. Can you see inside the bucket at the bottom? And then I'm just swishing it around with some of this water. Just a little bit, just to get all the goodness out of the cans. And I'm doing that with all these cans. As you can see, I also grabbed some grape juice. I'm going to use 3 grape juice cans and 6 apple cans. This, obviously, grapes make wine. They don't make cider. But I'm just trying to look for a new way of doing things. This is more sugary than apple juice, so it's going to be higher alcohol content. So we're going to want to use less, we're going to want to add less sugar to it. And after I'm done with this, I'm going to pour in that tea that I've been making with the oak logs and the tea bags and the cinnamon. All right, thanks. All right, so I added all of the apple and one of the grapes, and so 6 apples and 1 grape, and look at how purple it became. I think I'm only going to use 1 grape just because it seems to overpower. It's much more syrupy and it's much more concentrated. So that's what I'll do. All right, now I'm bringing over the cinnamon, tea, and oak, and I'm pouring this in next. Into my frozen bucket. All right, and so I just added the hot tea, and now I'm going to stir it. And I'm going to start adding extra water to it until I top it up to the 3-gallon line on my bucket. The oak is going to stay in the brew for the primary, and then in the secondary, I'm going to add smaller oak pieces so that they fit in my carboy. All right, we're getting it all stirred up nice and well. We're going to raise it up to the 3-gallon mark, and you can see Carter is working on using this siphon that we rigged up. You can see the water's coming out. It's going sucked up through this Poland Springs bottle and into our brew bucket. Say hi, Carter.
Hi.
Okay, we're mixing in some brown sugar because instead of I should have probably used 2 additional apple cider or apple concentrate jars, but I was going to use grape instead, but then it turns out we didn't want to use those 2 grapes, so I added in extra sugar with brown sugar. The next step is this. We need to use our yeast nutrient and our pectic enzyme. Yeast nutrient gives yeast food to eat and helps it eat the food. And it's actually, I think it's like urea. It's urea. It's basically stuff that we pee out, which is interesting. And then pectic enzyme prevents pectic haze, which makes it more clear when it's time to bottle and drink. So this one you use a half teaspoon per gallon. Since we have 3 gallons, we want 3 of these. Yep, TSPs. So I'm gonna pop this in. Carter's gonna keep mixing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's done. And then this one is the bigger spoon. This one is the one. Well, this is actually a full TSP per gallon. So we're gonna need 6 of these spoons now. So 1. Don't mix too hard. 2. Slow and steady. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and now after that, we're gonna take a break and then we're gonna start our yeast on top. So go ahead and stop stirring. We're gonna put our yeast on, actually in about an hour, we're gonna put our yeast on top. And now I'm just gonna put in some Red Star yeast into my yeast starter. This is just water with some brown sugar. And all I do is take this Red Star yeast packet, Premier Classic active dry yeast, and you just sprinkle it on the top. You want to see? Come to the surface. Let's see this. And just let it float on the top, and then they'll rehydrate and sink to the bottom. And then in about an hour, I'll add the whole thing into my bucket, and I'll be coming back in an hour to show you that step. All right, we've waited an hour and our yeast is ready. You can see here, it's sunk in and then it's floated back up a little. It's kind of bubbling a little. So we're gonna add that to our bucket. And here it goes. Now, we'll stir this bucket every day for the next 10 to 15 days, and at a certain point we're going to make the call to add our to rack off the liquid and off of the sediment and into a demijohn or into a carboy, where it'll have a secondary ferment, and it'll stay there for a longer period of time. And I will be videoing that as well, so be sure to check back for episode 2 of this movie. Thanks for watching.